Oh, look, the traitor.
Tony's actions were unacceptable. And when you think about it, both due to the fact that he's incredibly ill, and at the time, he was extremely intoxicated, Tony should not have been operating the Iron Man suit. It's technically operating a vehicle under the influence.
Huh. I had not even thought of that. Excellent evaluation, Winter.
Oh, great. And now one of the greatest pieces of technology ever created is in the hands of the military. The people that should never have that kind of power. As if Ross getting his hands on the Hulk wasn't enough.
The military is the group best equipped to handle such machinery, and the group that would be most responsible with it.
Oh man, good one, Jimmy.
Nick Fury? What is he doing here?
Perhaps to speak with Tony about the Avengers Initiative.
That would be the most obvious answer based on the end of the previous Iron Man movie.
Boy band? Perhaps the Avengers Initiative involves forming a large team. With Tony's sarcastic nature and how he described it, that seems more than likely.
A team of superheroes? Awesome. Some of our comic heroes team up, but they never make a permanent team.
To be fair, Huntsmen and Huntresses are basically superheroes in teams of 4.
That's incredibly rude and insensitive.
Tony's a meanie.
I think Tony's trying to get a rise out of him.
Was that...
It couldn't be.
No!
Yes!
Nora looked at everyone in the room with a grin going from ear to ear. She then looked to Ren last.
Say it.
No,
Say it, Ren.
I don't want to.
I want to hear it.
Fine, Nora, you were right.
I'm queen of the castle. I'm queen of the castle.
Romanov. That's a cool name, though.
It's Russian, like Ivan's. And for anyone wondering, no. Natalie isn't her first name. Her proper name is Natasha Romanoff.
It looks like Tony's the one being toyed this time.
And Fury seems to be the perfect type of person to do so. There's something about the way he sasses Tony that makes him come off as charming, rather than arrogant and unlikable.
So,
Tony let Rhodey get away with the suit then?
Oh, that means he trusts Rhodey enough to leave him for the suit for when bad things happen to Tony.
Yeah, then he just gave the suit to the military, who Tony wanted as far away from that suit as possible. What a great friend.
So does that mean Tony's cured? I doubt it's that easy. Besides, Fury said it would only take the edge off.
It seems at the least they've bought him more time.
But why do that if he's gonna die anyway?
So, lithium dioxide is a really good medicine in your world?
No, that compound doesn't even exist. We have lithium oxide, but it's definitely not the same thing. It's not only used in batteries, but also in medicine for treating bipolar disorder. So definitely not for fixing liver problems and everything else palladium is doing to him. In fact, that's probably the worst thing to give him, since that actually causes more kidney damage.
Wait, what does that mean?
It means there's still a chance.
How? Jarvis said no element can replace palladium.
No known element?
So what? Is Tony going to discover a new element?
Oh, you'll see.
It is quite a lovely bird. Perhaps I should consider getting one.
But we already have Zwei.
Yes, but we're not going to live in Beacon forever. I'll need my own pet when we live separately. Unless I can steal Zwei.
You won't. I estimate he must have to crush his skull nearly flat to fit in the head as it is now.
There's no way that's a helmet. Then the only other option is that must be the head of a robot or an android.
So what, he basically turned Iron Man into Elysian Knights?
There is nothing wrong with our Elysian Knights.
Yet.
Still, Ms. Xiaolong isn't entirely wrong. Changing a fully capable suit such as Iron Man to a mere robot is rather disappointing.
Yeah, right. A human has instinct, intuition, and determination. An iron will to never give up. You can't get that from any machine.
Penny looked down sadly at this, but Ruby held her hand.
I'm sure he'd make you an exception.
Well said, Crow. Not to mention a battlefield is always unpredictable. There are countless situations a drone couldn't possibly be prepared for and likely would not be able to react properly.
Exactly. While Atlas is always trying to lessen the number of humans and faunus in the battlefield, some elements will always require a human touch.
twisting his words back on him. Nice.
Only when they understand the humor behind it.
Yeah, have you seen what this guy can do? I wouldn't be threatening him if I were you.
Not to mention he's the one making these drones. You don't want to make him mad. He could just stop.
But remember, he could always have Ivan and his bird shipped back to Russia or even to prison.
Maybe not the second one, since Hammer orchestrated the breakout and Ivan could sell him out at that point. But back to Russia certainly is a possibility.
Typical. Already trying to transform it into a military weapon.
Shouldn't it already be full of weapons? Well, Tony built that one more as a test suit to see if he could get the suit to fly and reach the places his weapons were, rather than one to jump right into combat with. So it's possible he didn't stock the Mark II up with weapons.
Indeed. We only ever saw that the suit was built to test the capability of flight, and it was never shown to have been given any form of weaponry.
What's the big deal? Why does the world need to see it so fast?
Remember, Yang, because of Ivan, people are now concerned that the Iron Man suit can be replicated. So they likely want to show that they can have Iron Man mass-produced, so that no matter what happens or where, they have multiple Iron Men to answer the call.
It was just one guy, and it was just some fancy whips connected to the best battery ever. It's not like just anyone can do it.
But the people don't know that, Nora. For all they know, Ivan could have been a single soldier in a much bigger battle to come.
Well, what did you think was gonna happen?
Right, if we dropped that suit in Atlas, the first thing you guys would probably do would be to weaponize it.
Ordinarily, I'd say you were right. But to power the suit, it must have its own reactor, rather than the one in Stark's chest. So our first priority would likely be to reverse engineer it to be mass-produced, so that the kingdoms would have nearly unlimited energy.
Father wouldn't be too pleased with that.
Serves him right.
But think about this. With you two away from home, who does your father have to take all that anger out on? Your poor mother and your brother, who do nothing but try to please your father.
This left the Schnee sisters in shock and in deep thought.
If I didn't already know it was in his chest, I would have sworn he was going for a vulgar joke.
Whoa, Glinda. You've got a dirtier mind than I thought.
I don't understand. There's no other logical place to put the arc reactor, and as we've seen, it isn't ideal to have in the body at all.
So that's why Ivan resents Tony. He's living the life Ivan believes he should have.
The life he could have had if his father had stayed loyal to Tony's father. They could have even grown up as friends.
Not to mention, Tony was living it up while Ivan suffered with a drunk, possibly abusive father.
The cat princess was thankful more than ever that her parents had always been loving and supportive. She would have to go back to Menagerie one day and apologize to her parents.
Siberia? That sounds cool. Where's that?
If I didn't know you didn't know that, I swear I would have thought you were making another pun. Siberia is a massive province of Russia. It boasts a massive tundra, with forests and mountain regions, plus our world's deepest lake. It's a scenic place to visit, but also one of the coldest, most inhospitable places in the world, so it became a place of banishment and punishment. They'd basically throw you out there to die. It'd basically be like if you turned off the heating grid in Mantle or Atlas.
Geez, and I thought Oz was cryptic.
Agreed.
Agreed.
Excuse me?
You've really never noticed? You almost always speak in riddles or vague and cryptic sentences.
Honestly, I constantly resist the urge to scream at you and tell you to get to the point.
Hearing this left the headmaster in shock. Sure, he often does it to be cool, but he must do it way more than he's aware of for everyone to agree about the complaint.
Well, isn't that relatable?
Winter put her hand on her sister's shoulder. Yang reached over to hug Weiss. She may have had a loving father, but she never met her mother.
A parent should always be there for their child.
Throughout all of his lifetimes, the one thing he could truly pride himself on being was a loving father, or mother, on 1 or 2 occasions.
Wait, he's just leaving?
But Tony has no idea what he's supposed to do.
True, but it's likely Fury doesn't know much more than Tony at this point. The fact that he didn't just come straight to Tony with this miracle cure shows that clearly he's stuck wherever Howard left off, and only Tony can pick up from here.
He's totally screwing with him.
While it's nice to see Tony truly dumbfounded, toying with him feels unnecessary, especially given his current condition.
Oh, good. The nice agent.
I'm sure he'll be much more willing to help Tony.
So wait, what is this? A house arrest?
I don't think so. I think they're trying to help Tony. They just have an extreme way of doing it, I guess.
The audience was taken aback, considering Coulson's calming and non-threatening demeanor in the previous Iron Man movie.
A very extreme way, apparently.
He's lucky it's not me he's saying that to. I dare him!
So much for a nice agent.
Oh no, it's just the pretty flashlight, just like the one Tony has in his chest. Of course it's the power source.
Please tell me your military men are smarter than that.
Of course they are. Atlas is the most technologically advanced kingdom on Remnant. They could easily figure out something that inherently obvious.
Well, what do you think it is?
And this one won't break the spine of the pilot inside it.
best weapons!
Time to see if he really has any impressive tech like he usually claims.
It looks like a sex toy.
Brittany once said the same thing, Blake.
Everyone looked at the host, with Blake looking shocked, her face glowing red from embarrassment.
But she didn't say anything.
But she was thinking about it.
Hearing this not only made Blake blush harder, but also made the whole audience stunned that mind reading was also one of the demon's powers.
You know, I may not like him, but I have to admire his salesmanship.
They aren't exactly my kind of weapons, but I must admit, the shotgun, especially that rifle, did look quite impressive.
So this country, Belgium, makes particularly impressive waffles?
Yes. Belgium is a country in the continent of Europe, most famously known for their waffles. They're made with a lighter, fluffier batter, but in a much deeper griddle, so they're way bigger, with way deeper pockets.
The host then simply created a plate for everyone, leaving them shocked and awed by the massive waffles.
Okay, if I didn't have my gauntlets, I might consider that thing.
Oh yeah, grenade launcher for the win! The size of a weapon doesn't matter as long as it's in the hands of someone who uses it right.
Oh, you innocent little girl.
What do you mean? I'm confused as well. Allow me to explain.
Nora, please don't.
Ooh, Coco, that looks like your gun.
Yeah, but way tinier.
Well, yours is too big and heavy for most people on my world to lift, Coco. Even our much smaller minigun is still incredibly heavy and generally needs specialized muscular soldiers to carry it around. Not exactly standard issue.
Okay, I'm very lost.
I can't believe I'm agreeing with Yang, but same. I have not a single clue of what he's even talking about.
Even I am unsure of what Mr. Hammer is saying anymore.
Incredible. If we had those against the Grimm, we'd be unstoppable. They may even be able to stop her.
I wouldn't get too far ahead of myself on that, General. Trust me, Hammer may be exaggerating a bit, to say the least.
If one weapon was enough to solve our problem, James, it would have been solved long ago.
Indeed. Whatever ultimately solves our problem, all I can say for certain is it won't be a weapon.
Okay, I don't like him, but I gotta give him that one.
You think that was funny?
It was funny, Ice Queen. I mean, just look at Rhodey right now. Even he's trying to hold back a laugh.
A sphinx? Like the Grimm?
No, Weiss, don't worry. Not like the Grimm. In my world, in the country of Egypt, the Sphinx is a legendary creature with the body of a lion, with eagle wings on its back and the head of a man. In the most famous legend it's in, it guards a legendary treasure, and you have to answer its riddle to get past. But if you can't answer it, it kills you. But they also made countless statues of the creature, like the one shown right now, which is considered one of the most massive ones on my world. This is what Hammer meant. Rhodes is like a statue.
I see. If you don't mind me asking, what is the riddle?
What walks on 4 legs, then 2, then 3?
The audience looked around uncertainly before Ren finally gave his answer.
A human being. In our infancy, we crawl on our hands and knees. Then in adulthood, we stand strong on 2 legs. Finally, in our later years, our legs begin to fail us, so we rely on a cane for assistance.
Correct. Nice work, Ren.
Yes!
That level of firepower is really impressive, but that's a lot of extra weight. It's gonna be a lot slower than the regular Iron Man.
Yeah, but who cares? That suit's practically unbreakable now.
Clearly, Whiplash proved otherwise. And remember, this is still the Mark II, the one that Tony almost died in on his first flight. Multiple times. It's no doubt weaker than the Mark III and beyond.
Still impressive, but we've already seen this before.
Everything must be carefully analyzed, Ms. Belladonna. Even the slightest clue could be what saves Tony's life at this point.
Yay, blooper reel!
I don't see how this could possibly help.
There must still be some information Tony hasn't seen yet.
There's gotta be. Tony's life depends on it.
So that's Tony as a child.
Oh, look at little Tony!
And suddenly, Tony's ridiculous habits become clear.
Hey, nothing wrong with a nice drink now and then. You just gotta know when to stop. Clearly, Tony doesn't.
I was hoping Tony's father would be at least a bit more humble than his son.
It was just one small joke, Schnee. Calm yourself. Even Atlas has our share of jokers.
Wait, he's recording himself now?
Either it's super late and whoever paid to record him went home, or we've got a secret message only meant for someone important.
For Tony!
Tony, you're too young to understand this right now, so I thought I would put it on film for you. I built this for you. And someday you'll realize that it represents a whole lot more than just people's inventions. It represents my life's work. This is the key to the future. I'm limited by the technology of my time. But one day you'll figure this out. And when you do, you will change the world. What is and always will be my greatest creation is you.
Everyone was ready to cry with Tony. Even the adults were a bit misty-eyed.
Well, that was truly inspiring.
Indeed. But it seemed to be what Tony needed to hear after all this time.
He really did love Tony.
I think that's what just about everyone wants at the end of the day, to know their parents were proud of them and loved them.
Anyone got any tissues?
Weiss hugs Winter.
Why can't our father be like that?
I wonder, what would my father say if he could see me now?
But now Tony now has new motivation to find this new element.
And Rhodey's about to have a lot of new weapons.
Well, I doubt things can ever truly be the same between them again.
Plus, who knows what Ivan is planning now that he's making drones instead of suits?
The situation only seems to be turning increasingly dire.
John, we need to see what happens next.
That's what I'm here for.